So moving quickly, and Mike mentioned trying to take risks, take smarter risks, and again, it's any one of us as leaders of our businesses can stand up and say this stuff, but actually, if you can get the tangible actions and demonstrate it through meaningful action, again, always on the customer agenda, then I'll just give you one more example. Again, I'm only sharing these because it may just trigger conversation later through Q&A. This was in 2015, and Apple came to us. So Apple know what we could bring to some of their initiatives, because we are in 14,500 communities around the US. And our own operators, we employ 900,000 people here in the US. And also, as I say, we serve 27 million people a day. So they wanted to launch Apple Pay and try and introduce a whole new method of payment. And they asked us, would we be interested in being a launch partner for Apple Pay? And I mean, clearly the answer is yes, but they have a launch date, as you know. They have these big events in Cupertino. They gave us 12 weeks' notice. Not to come back with a decision of whether we're interested, but to get it done and implemented and executed in 14,000 restaurants from a technology point of view, from a crew training point of view, and the rest. And we decided we were going to use this totally as a wonderful opportunity to test ourselves as how good can we be if we rally behind something and show the sort of urgency. And you know, none of these things are perfect, but if you think about the sort of discussion, so this is the funny thing about McDonald's. Like, when it comes to it, we're a real grassroots, nuts and bolts type of business. So the biggest challenge we had on the entire 12 weeks was dealing with customers and handling customers who want to pay with Apple Pay in restaurant, not a problem. Here's the problem, it's the drive-through customer. Because when they come on pay, they want to pull up the drive-through window and they want to wave a phone. But you don't want them to pass the phone to you to handle, because there's all sorts of liability issues with that. And the scanner is in the drive-through booth, and you know, the scanner's there next to our POS system. So we had to find a way to get the scanner effectively on a pretty crude arm that would lever out of the window, such that the driver, if it was their watch or if it was their phone, would be able to hold against the scanner. They were in total control of the entire process. They had full ownership of it, and we were able to capture the payment. So the biggest problem was manufacturing these arms. It wasn't the technology, it was not just manufacturing them, but then getting them installed in, I guess, out of 14,500, it's around 11,500, 12,000 drive-throughs. And then getting our crew trained on it. So anyway, I share that partly because it's kind of part of the nuts and bolts sort of discussions we end up having around our business. But actually, the great news was we got it done, and we were a launch partner for Apple Pay, which, again, I think disrupted people's thinking about, I didn't see McDonald's being on the forefront of this type of technology. I didn't think they could move that quickly. And you know what? Externally, is it a huge business builder? It will be over time. But actually, internally, as a cultural signal to ourselves about what we can do when we adopt the right attitude, it's something that, as you can imagine, I do come back to a few times. So